Dear students, welcome to our class on JRF SRF Net 2022, the latest information on general knowledge in agriculture and related most contemporary issues. In this class, we try to understand what are the major schemes, programs or missions and their objective. Just one line each for each major scheme, program or object. Then we try to understand Atmanirbhar Bharat and also education policy, new education policy 2020 and online and offline classes. So these are all the contemporary issues in the interest of our exam. So now just we try to recapitulate quickly in a rebrush. In other words, most important schemes, programs or missions of Government of India for the benefit of the farmers and agriculture development in the country. Number one, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi Yojana. 100% central sponsored scheme. This is a 100% centrally sponsored scheme, operational since 1st December 2018. 2018, December 1st onwards. Around 12 crore small and marginal farmers with less than 2 hectares of land holding get the benefit. Rupees 6,000 per year in 3 installments of rupees 2,000 is distributed to the farmers. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi Yojana. This is a 100% centrally sponsored scheme in which 6,000 rupees is given to the farmers directly into their accounts in 3 equal installments of 2,000 each. Now Pradhan Mantri Pradhan Mantri Kisan Mandhan Yojana. This is a pension scheme. Mandhan Yojana is a pension scheme. About 5 crore marginal farmers will get a minimum monthly pension of rupees 3,000. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, premium based scheme for crops of farmers. For the farmers to benefit their indivify, well, that's what we call it as. It is a it is a premium based scheme. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Kisan Credit Card Scheme. These credit cards provides farmers with timely access to credit for their crops, implements, tools for their crops, intercultivation aspects, harvesting aspects, whatnot, everything, tools and implements also, as well as the benefit goes Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Pashu Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Pashu Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Haryana was the first state in the country to issue these cards. These are given to take some loan to buy cows, buffaloes, goats, etc. Next, fifth, after the fifth Pashu Kisan Credit Card Scheme, the sixth one is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, PKVY, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Earlier we discussed with the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, RKVY, the most popular scheme. Like that, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana to promote organic farming, improve soil health as well as organic matter content of the soil. This program was introduced by the Government of India or central government. Now, seventh one is the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. It was launched on 1st July 2015, 2015, 1st July. Har Khet Ko Pani. Har Khet Ko Pani is the slogan for this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. Assured irrigation. That is the, there are 3 components under this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. Har Khet Ko Pani, number 1. Number 2, watershed. Number 3, per drop more crop. Per drop more crop. The Har Khet Ko Pani is the slogan. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchayi Yojana. 8th one, ENAM, ENAM, National Agricultural Market, to support creation of infrastructure to enable e-marketing. To enable e-marketing, ENAM was introduced. It is a new platform. It is a wonderful e-marketing platform. So, Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme. Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme. Originally, it was a venture capital scheme for dairy and poultry. Venture capital scheme for dairy and poultry. Later on, 1st September 2010, it changed to its name to Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme. Next, 10th one, Rainfed Area Development Program, a sub-scheme of RKVY, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. This is a sub-scheme of RKVY to improve the quality of life of farmers of rain-fed areas. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA, popularly we call it as we have discussed enough in the previous classes. Still, only just to refreshing, I am putting forth this again. One of the 8 missions under National Action Plan on Climate Change. National Action Plan on Climate Change. This is the one of the 8th schemes or projects or missions. Soil Health Card Scheme launched in 2015 to provide nutrition status of the soils of the farmers in the fields. What is the nutritional status of the soil in soil health scheme? So these are all the schemes. Once again, for your academic interest, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Samman Nidhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Mandhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Kisan Credit Card Scheme, Pashu Kisan Credit Card Scheme, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, E-NAM Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme, Rain-Fed Area Development Program, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, and Soil Health Card Scheme. These are all the major programs of central government or union government for the benefit of the farmers and to make agriculture a profitable venture by the farmers. Now, so we try to understand some information on Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is a Hindi slogan. Atmanirbhar Bharat. In English, it is self-reliant. S-E-L-F. Self-reliant. R-E-L-I-A-N-T. Self-reliant. What exactly does it mean? It also refers to less dependence on others. Less dependence on others, or don't be dependent on others. Don't be dependent on others. This is Atmanirbhar Bharat. This term was formulated at the time of pandemic COVID-19. At the time of pandemic COVID-19 in India, to make Indians and India self-reliant by starting production of all mandatory items locally. Production of all mandatory items locally is the aim or objective of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Vocal for local is also integral of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Okay, vocal for local, VOCAL, vocal for local is also an integral part of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Now next we try to understand new education policy 2020. So wonderful. The old education policy in India was introduced 34 years back. After 34 years of education system, the government of India found it necessary to restructure the education system in India. In this, education is, as you are very well aware, that education is the foundation for any nation. Therefore, every person in the world should be educated. The Indian education policy, which was 34 years old, so it needed to be modified. First one I would like to share with you is the aim of a new education policy. The aim of a new education policy is, okay, it is to create, please listen very carefully, it is to create an education system which is rooted in Indian ethos and can rebuild India as a global knowledge superpower. Once again, for your academic interest, I repeat it. The aim of a new education policy is to create education system which is rooted in Indian ethos, which is rooted in the Indian ethos and can rebuild India as a global knowledge superpower. We wanted to become global knowledge superpower through this new education policy. Okay? The highlights I would like to share with you. The highlights are the new education policy 2020 is to bring transformations, of course, transformational changes in the Indian education system through holistic and multidisciplinary approaches. Holistic and multidisciplinary approaches which will lead to overall development of students. Once again, for your academic interest, I repeat, the very objective of a new education policy 2020 is to bring transformations, changes in Indian education system through holistic and multidisciplinary approaches which will lead to overall development of the students. In addition to that, universalization of education from preschool to secondary school with 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. By 2030, India wanted the enrollment, gross enrollment ratio 100%. That is number one. Whether you call it as objectives or the vision or whatever it may be, the number one is by 2030 100% gross enrollment ratio, number one. Number two, to bring more than 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream. Third one, as per new education policy, there will be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, okay, pattern of school curriculum. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Then emphasis on foundational literacy and numeracy and no rigid separation between academic streams and curricular or vocational or extracurricular or co-curricular. There is no rigid separation from these things. Another important thing is teaching up to at least 5th class to be in mother tongue or regional language. Assessment reforms include 360 degrees around the whole holistic progress card. The holistic progress card 360 degrees. That means assessment is from every corner. Then the gross enrollment ratio GER in higher education to be raised to 50%. In the higher education 50%, in the school education 100% by 2030, in the higher education gross enrollment ratio GER to be 50%. So that means approximately 3.5 crore additional seats have to be created in the higher education system. This is envisaged to be to be achieved by 2035. Earlier in the schooling, 100% gross enrollment ratio by 2030. By 2035, higher education system. This is what I would like to share with you. Another most important points include curriculum will have flexibility, multiple entry and exit system to facilitate transfer of the credits, to foster a strong research culture. National Research Foundation is to be established. Graded autonomy to the college affiliation system, increased use of technology, special education zones for disadvantaged regions and groups, multilingualism in both school level and higher education are the other major important aspects. In addition to these things, what I would like to share with you is once again we try to rebrush ourselves on new education policy 2020. I just would like to give another important point. The aim of new education policy is to create an education system which is rooted in Indian ethos and which can be rebuilt in India. Okay, that is the aim. The visions are new education policy 2020 is to bring transformational changes. Is number one, universalization of education. More than 2 crore of school children back into the mainstream. By 2030, 100% gross enrollment ratio. There will be a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 pattern of school curriculum, emphasis on fundamental literacy and numeracy. teaching up to at least 5th class to be in mother tongue or regional language, assessment reforms with 360 degrees, the gross enrollment ratio in higher education to be 50% by 2035. Curriculum will have flexibility, multiple entry and exit system to facilitate credit transfers to offset any lacuna that is found in transfer of credits. There is a mechanism to be evolved to foster a strong research culture. National Research Foundation is to be established. Graded autonomy, increased use of technology, special education zones for disadvantaged regions and groups. Finally, multilingualism. So these are all the things which are in the new education policy of Government of India. Thanking you very much for your very patient hearing.